What's going on? I have a bit of free time. So, and by a bit of free time, I mean a couple days of being here alone. So, being that I have a little bit of free time right now, I figured I would try and get one of these fucking stupid videos done. Kaylee actually has the iPad with her right now, so I won't be able to get this edited immediately. But I'll try and get it done in the next few days or something. I'm not really in a hurry. So in the last one I mentioned that I wanted to make another like non-metal video. So that's what this one is going to be. I basically just pulled out shit that I've been listening to a lot of, you know, lately. All of this stuff is relatively new, apart from, I guess, the very first thing I'm gonna show here. So what we're listening to in the background is also a non-metal release, I guess, by a non-metal band. This is Twin Tribes. I fucking absolutely love this band. This is live at Fascination Street. Just fucking dropped it. This actually went up for sale when Bandcamp had the first day where like all the profit went to the band, or like 100% of your purchase went directly to the band. I think that was back in May, something like that. But it turned up like a month or so ago, and man, I fucking love this band. They just repressed their first album, Shadows, as well, and that's up for pre-order. Yeah, go get it. Alright, let's get into it, I guess. First thing I'm going to talk about here is a Die Hard release from Nuclear War Now. This is a Lurker of Chalice with Tellurian Slaked Furnace. Before I get into actually showing this, I had it was like 2 weeks where I had 2 packages show up just absolutely fucked. The first one of these that showed up was just fucking bent. So, you know, that's basically useless. Somehow, I found out later that the records were actually playable. So I kind of have 2 copies of this, sort of. I messaged Yosuke right after I got the package and saw that the package was just completely obliterated. And I asked if he could send a replacement jacket, and he just sent basically the whole thing apart from like the Die Hard editions. So I kind of have 2 copies of this thing, but this is really fucking cool, man. If you guys aren't familiar, this is just basically some of the demo stuff that Lurker of Chalice did before the full-length album. There was 2 demos that came out prior to the full-length album. So basically what this is 12 songs that were stripped of their original names, edited and basically ordered to flow more like a full-length album. This is not new material, which I've seen a few people mistakenly say online. This is quite a bit different from the material on the full-length album too, for those of you who have never heard the Lurker of Chalice demo material. This is basically completely devoid of like black metal. This is more experimental and subdued and atmospheric and ambient, and it's also, I think there's only 1 instance of vocals on this one as well. Nuclear War Now did a really good job of this, man. I was excited when I heard that some Lurker of Chalice demo shit was gonna be put to vinyl. Honestly, I would have just preferred if there was like 2 separate releases for the individual demos. That way you would have gotten all the material. But this is a great fucking thing to have. I'll never complain about getting some Lurker of Chalice shit in my collection. So like I said, this is the Die Hard version of this, and I'll show you everything it comes with, though I'm sure you've probably seen somebody show it. You get this big outer like faux leather bag, which is quite cool. This was originally kind of bent up and like creased and shit when I first got it in the damaged box, but over time it seems to have kind of straightened itself out, which is nice. You also get this massive fucking like faux leather patch, which is made of like the same shit that the outer bag is made of. Big back patch, which is quite cool. The jacket itself is really nice, like a matte finish with a gold foil Lurker of Chalice stamp. Same on the back, all the text is like gold foil. Really nice gatefold with like a spot glossed image over some fucking clouds. This is a double LP, and the diehards were on this really nice like reddish brown color, almost like the color of like dried blood. But this is really fucking cool. And you also get a poster, which I really like, and I don't know why I haven't framed it yet. Mainly because I don't have any fucking space on the walls, I guess. But yeah, man, absolutely thrilled. I'm so glad Nuclear War Now was the one to do this, because there was no way any other label could do it better. Fantastic. Check it out if you haven't heard it. That's Lurker of Chalice with Tellurian Slaked Furnace. Next up, this one here is a bit different from everything else I'll be talking about in this one. I know this certainly isn't like a fan favorite for this band, and it's certainly not my favorite either. I got this for a really good price, but I prefer a lot of this band's material overwhelmingly to this. This is Death in June with The Guilty Have No Pride. This is the debut full-length album from Death in June from all the way back in 1983. I guess it's interesting to hear sort of the beginnings of this band. There was material before this, but not very much. And this is, like I said, the first actual full-length album. But it is interesting to hear this because you can definitely tell that this band was going for something different. A sort of, I guess, spin on like post-punk. But Death in June is sort of widely credited with sort of creating the neo-folk genre. So the thing that I kind of notice when I'm listening to this first Death in June record is that the songs on here really don't like flow like songs do, I guess. They're almost more like spells of experimentation, and that's more what this is than like neo-focus. This is a very experimental record. Lots of emphasis on the drums on this one. Lots of moments where the sort of keyboard is in the foreground. And I don't know, there's definitely some good songs on here. The song Nothing Changes is the song that I knew from this one because it's the one Leviathan covered all those years back. So this repress is from 2014, I think. And this is only the second LP press of this one, like regular LP press, because there was a picture disc somewhere in between 2014 and 1983. The album cover is very simple, but just a picture of like the Totenkopf. I kind of like am curious how this was received back in like 1983. Maybe nobody cared back then. I don't know, but I know like Death in June, if Death in June were like a new project, this would probably be a no-no. But I think everybody kind of understands that Death in June is absolutely not like a Nazi project. It's just, you know, they use the imagery and they always have. There's the back cover right there. Again, very simple. This is put out on Drastic Plastic Records. You got the track listing, and this is numbered here. I have number 40 out of 500. And this comes with absolutely nothing, and you can see what the labels look like right there. So yeah, man, if you like lo-fi, sort of creepy, experimental music, the first Death in June record is a good one. I just prefer some of the stuff that came a little bit later, like Nada and But What Ends When the Symbols Shatter and shit like that. Death in June has a lot of shit that I've never heard. They also have a lot of shit that I've put on and not made it very far before I realized I just didn't like it. So a pretty polarizing band, but a pretty well-known one nonetheless. So I ain't cluing anybody in, but that's Death in June with The Guilty Have No Pride. Alright, here's a fun one. This is also a pretty new one into the collection here. This is She Passed Away with X or 10. So this is basically a celebratory release. Marking the first decade of She Passed Away. Normally I mention it a little bit later, but I'll mention it now because it's kind of pertinent to what I'm saying. This is also limited to 1,010 or 10 copies, which I think is cool. And what this is basically, there's 22 tracks on here, and they're all remixes from other bands. So basically bands that She Passed Away is a fan of. I guess, I don't know if they commissioned the remixes or if it was sort of like somebody else's idea. But I guess this is like an amassment of bands who were, I guess, influenced by or maybe even influenced She Passed Away. So lots of bands on here that I had never heard of, and that's exactly what this was good for me. So these are remixes, but a couple of them just sound sort of more like cover songs, I guess. But there's a lot of really cool shit on here, and it's honestly, it's interesting to hear different artists take on like the same song. Because there's a couple songs on here that are on here. There's one song that's on here 3 different times, and it's remixed by 3 different artists. So it's cool to hear shit like that. I can't off the top of my head remember which one of these on here I just fucking fell in love with, because none of these song titles are in English. But yeah, man, there's a lot of really good shit on here. But honestly, to speak on this properly, I'd need to do like a track by track review on it, and that's not really my thing. Yeah, and I honestly don't know which one of these tracks I'm gonna choose to like put in the song clip or whatever. But yeah, whatever you hear in the song clip, don't assume that's as good as this gets. You might like some of the other shit on here more than I do. So one of the bands that pops up a couple times on here is Clan of Zymox. That's really fucking good. Ash Code, Dear Dear, The Soft Moon, Boy Harsher. Yeah, I'm sure there are some names that are more familiar to people who are more well-versed in this genre of music. But this is really fucking good, man. So I'm not really sure about the significance of the scissors, but it's obviously like an X, or you know, Roman numeral for 10. I just don't know why they chose scissors, but whatever. There's all the track listing and credits to the bands who remixed the songs, put out through Metropolis. The inside here has just further credits for all the tracks and shit like that. You got a picture of She Passed Away here, and just some write-up bullshit under that. It doesn't come with anything, but the vinyl itself is kind of like clear black, I guess. I don't really know if that's the best way to describe it, but yeah, that didn't help at all. What the fuck am I doing? But yeah, you might be able to get this still through the US web store, maybe. I'm happy to have this, man. I love She Passed Away. I've been really into the dark wave shit lately, and She Passed Away for me is just the fucking best of the best. So check it out. I'm probably just gonna pull a random track for this one and use that as like the song clip, but like I said, everything else on here will sound different than what you hear, so you gotta look it up and play the whole thing, because it's fucking badass. Check it out, She Passed Away with X. Alright, this is a fun, family-friendly record here. This is the Murder Junkies with Roadkiller. So the chronology of Murder Junkies releases, just at like a cursory glance, is pretty confusing, but this is the first full-length album that came out in 2011. And from what I could gather, like I said, real quick, cursory look, it looks like this was the first new material after a pretty long hiatus. I don't know that this was the first new material after the death of G.G. Allin. I don't think that they were sort of silent for quite that long. But I don't know, because a lot of the stuff that G.G. Allin recorded was released like posthumously, so yeah, I don't know, it's kind of confusing. If you've never heard the Murder Junkies, it is over the top, raunchy, super fun, very catchy, sort of like punk rock in the vein of like the later G.G. Allin stuff. Lots of cool sound clips on this one, very fucking vulgar lyrics, as you could probably imagine. Yeah, the song Once a Whore, One Rail Away, Two Dicks in Your Mouth, Stab You 50 Times. Lots of really just over-the-top, fun, gross music on this one, man. The album cover is, the album cover is awesome. I like the sort of style of art that this is. It works well with a like a 12-inch record jacket. Yeah, super cool. It's weird that it only says Murder Junkies, considering the band name is The Murder Junkies, but nowhere on here does it say The Murder Junkies, so that's quite weird. This one is signed by Merle Allen, which I didn't know when I bought it. I got this one on Discogs for like 14 bucks, and it came and it was signed by Merle Allen, which is cool because I don't have many signed records, but one of the other records that I do have signed is the most recent Murder Junkies album that I had signed by Merle Allen in person. So it was just kind of a coincidence. Like I said though, the listing like didn't mention that this was autographed or anything, so that was kind of cool. Love the back cover a whole lot. This is the band members sort of playing with this fucking tied up girl. Dino's got his hand in his pants. Yeah, man, awesome. Also, the vocalist of this band, what's he go by? He goes by PP Duvet. He sounds a whole lot like G.G. Allen did on like the Brutality and Bloodshed for All album. And I fucking love that shit. Yeah, labels are real simple, so no reason to pull it out or anything like that. Yeah, man, a whole lot of fun. I fucking love the Murder Junkies. I want to get the album that came in between Roadkiller and Killing for Christ's Sake, I think is what the most recent one was called. I don't remember what that record, the middle record, is called. But I'd like to pick up a copy of it, because I've heard it and it's fantastic, just like the other shit. And it's been a fucking long time, man. It's been a long time since we've heard new Murder Junkie stuff. See, I don't know. I'd like to hear some new shit if it ever happens. Great shit, great live band, everything about this, man. I fucking love it. Super fucking disgusting rock and roll, man. Check it out, Murder Junkies Roadkiller.
Come home from work, she wants some fight. Well, she been drinking all day and night. Breaking my balls, slapping me around. Shut the fuck up, I'll knock your ass out.
Alright, let's finish this off with a band that I have completely fallen in love with over the past few months, man. And also a band that I feel just doesn't get the recognition it deserves. This is High Spirits with Another Night. I fucking love this band. I think there's something special about it, and just that this band, almost more than any other band, can just completely teleport me to somewhere else. And I feel like the image that this paints in my head is exactly what this band is going for. And you can tell with the album cover and the font they used here, it almost reminds me of like the movie Drive. And I almost feel like this has a similar aesthetic too. But something about this band just has a very, almost, I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like a nostalgic feeling to it. Everything about it, it's almost like dreamlike, and I don't know how to describe it beyond that, but it's fucking awesome. This is the debut album from 2011, and this is the most recent repress of this thing from 2017. On High Roller Records. I don't know, man. High Spirits is, it's something special, because for me it makes like classic hard rock listenable. There's some sort of faster, like high energy moments, super catchy choruses, and I think the first like 20 seconds of this thing is like a perfect summation of, you know, the whole record. So the album cover is a picture of a city, and forgive me, I don't know what city it is. I think this band is from Illinois, I think. Back cover there is just city street at night, which is, you know, in terms of atmosphere, like perfect for what this band is going for. And the, you know, nighttime cityscape thing is all over this. So you got all the lyrics and shit on an inner sheet. The vinyl itself is gold, and I fucking love that label. Fucking super cool, man. This band just put out a new record called Hard to Stop, and I've only heard a couple of songs from it. From what I've heard, I don't like it quite as much as pretty much any of the shit before it, but I haven't heard the whole thing, and I know I can go listen to it now, so I probably will do that. But yeah, fantastic, awesome shit, super catchy songwriting, great fucking guitar solos, catchy choruses. I love this band. I love this band. And like I said, this band just gets completely overlooked by some people. I dig it a whole lot. Check it out if you've never heard it, man. That's High Spirits with Another Night.
Another night in the city, yeah. Getting hot in the dark tonight. Another night in the city, yeah. Sky high, electric light, street light shadows.
And that's fucking it, man. That's 5 more records. Showed some really fun shit in this one, so hopefully you guys find something you like if you've never heard it. Orlok and I are probably gonna go for a walk or something right after I turn the camera off, because I can tell he's starting to get a little bit antsy. But for now, I gotta pull this shit away, and hopefully the fucking disgusting, wretched sun doesn't melt me. Or, well, maybe, maybe that would be for the better. I don't know. Fuck you all, we'll talk soon. Later.
And I'm calling from the well, a broken man with time.